Okay, what's going on, LBHT crew B? What is going on?
Well, I see we're starting things off right. Brandon B in the chat, letting everybody know that I am, as always, correct.
I thought you were going to go to our man Noah, who already dropped a $5 tip. Salute to you, Noah. Out the gate is happy LBHT show day, everyone. Hope all is well with y'all. My apologies for being absent lately. I've been doing a lot of work to better myself. Hey, salute to you. And to be better to those around me. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, just wanted to stop by and say hello. As always, hashtag LBHT crew for life. Salute to you, Noah.
Thank you,
salute
Noah.
to you.
Appreciate you, man.
So wait, is it this week or is it next week is our anniversary?
Well, you know, as you mentioned it,
it's today.
It is tomorrow. We did not plan anything for it. So yeah.
Happy anniversary to us.
Well, thank you.
It has been 3 years. Happy anniversary, B. Yes. Yes.
Happy anniversary of that.
Thank you. Yes, we were too busy grinding. We didn't even realize. As soon as Noah says it's been a while, I was like, it has been a while. I was like, when was our update? When did we talk about this? But yes, all right. 3 years tomorrow of the LBHT show. Okay, we started in Black History Month, which is why we continue the Black History Facts every week on the show. Salute to everybody that's joined us along the way. Salute to everybody that that's new and old and really appreciate you guys, man. This show has been a lot of fun, and we still got a whole lot more in store for you. I'm not sure how I'm coming out on your end. Looks like my connection might be a little choppy, but hopefully StreamYard gets it together.
That's fine.
Okay. But that's okay because look, we had a little issue last time, right? That was on YouTube side. YouTube was shutting everybody down. And our links weren't working for Stream Elements, but B, everything's working fine now. We fixed any issues on our end, and as Stringer Bell would say, B,
I want you to put the word out there that we back up. Understand me? We back up.
We're back up. We're back up. Okay, put the word out there. We're back up. Go ahead and click that link. Okay, don't be scared. It's gonna work this time. All right. But if you're still scared, $ LBHT Show, that's the Cash App. Those are the two ways that we do Super Chat around here. All right, both ways. Leave your donation, leave your comment, and you'll get a nice little animation right next to my face. Let's give a shout out to the crew. We got Raven C, our brother Raven C's in the house. Yes, sir. What's up, man? Thanks for coming through as always. Hey, salute to you. Make sure you guys go over there, take 2 seconds, and hit the subscribe button on Raven C. All right. Good friend of the show. Always supports. He supports the whole crew. Okay, he is a part of the crew. He's a part of the round table. You haven't seen him on screen yet, but he's a what you call it, extended family, if you will. Okay, so salute to Raven C, man. Really appreciate you. Appreciate you too, Kimberly. Kimberly's always here. She says, "What's up, Lunch Break Hot Take? Hey, what's up with you, Kimberly? Hope you're having a wonderful day." Brandon Basil says, Brodny, we skip past that. He said something about you being right. That's right. Brodny right. Panthers got Caldwell. We got Monken. Look who won that.
Damn right.
All right, we'll find out. We're gonna talk about it. Mr. J the 6th, what's going on? Says made it to another Wednesday, and the Panthers haven't given me a reason that they are going to screw up the staff of vast NFL knowledge. Hey, we're gonna talk about that as well.
Panthers killing it, Jay.
They are. Shout out to my man Sterling. What's going on? Appreciate you coming through.
What's up, Sterling?
MJ's in the house. What's going on? Andre Mears is in the house. What's going on, Andre? Thanks for coming through.
What's up, Andre?
One Sessions in the house. Says, what's up, LBHT fan? Thanks for coming through, One Sessions.
Yes.
Darius Simmons, what's going on? Says, what's up, B and Jose? Hey, what's up with you, Darius? MDT Sports says, what's up, guys? What's up with you? Jonathan Washington. Yes. Just Allo. What's going on, Just Allo? Hope all is well with you as well, my friend. Top Billings in the house. What's going on? Thanks for coming through. King Trent TV. Salute to you. Thanks for coming through.
What's up, King?
All right. Willie Seabon in the house. What's up? Oh, everybody's here early. Yes. Noah, who just blessed us with the $5, is in here. D Weezy's in the house. What's going on?
Go back to Noah real quick. Did you notice that the Lions have now taken priority in the avatar?
Oh. Well, that's until the Ravens suspend Lamar. Okay, he can't be all in. He can't be all in right now.
Yeah.
What's going on, DDSQ, man? Thanks for coming
What's
through. Who else we got in here? Yolanda B's in the house. Says good evening, LBHT family. Hope everyone is well. Salute to you, Yolanda. Thanks for coming through as always. Marco G's in the house. Says what's good, guys? PQ has deleted everything Ravens related. I wonder if we can get a refund for our 2020 first round pick. We might have to talk about that too. Yes, indeed. Who else we got in here? We have Gurun Singh. Says yo, what's up? Thanks for coming through. Our guy, Coach Evans from Sip2 Tally Films. Make sure you're subscribed over there. I expect you all to be subscribed over there by now. I expect that. Okay. Coach he drops the hotness like every day. All right. And it gets even hotter every Monday around 9 p.m. for the Ravens Roundtable. All right. So make sure you're subscribed over there. All right. Xavier Smith, what's going on? Says, fellas, hey.
What's up, Xavier?
Salute. But yes, look, Ravens got the offensive coordinator. We'll talk about it. Okay. The Panthers didn't. It seemed like they're hiring everything except the offensive coordinator. And they're hiring, they hired Deuce Staley. I was like, okay, maybe he's gonna be offensive coordinator. They're like, no. they hired Jim Caldwell. I'm like, oh, good pick for offensive coordinator. They're like, no. So I mean, they're all good picks, but still. Oh, shout out to our guy Hendo for the $50 donation out the gate. Says happy anniversary to two of the finest brothers that I know. Hey, salute. Thank you. Really appreciate that. And Hendo, if you don't know, Ravens Online Ungatekeepers. Okay, he is part of the LBHT crew. He is part of the Ravens Roundtable. Make sure you subscribe to him as well. And we got a donation from Anonymous. Oh, man, really appreciate you guys for a $25 donation. Says greetings, everyone. Have an incredible show. Thank you so much. Wow. Listen, it is our anniversary. It is 3 years and running. Shout out to Edward Bigby over on Facebook too. I forgot to mention that we are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Okay, those are the ways that you can watch. So if you have a YouTube Armageddon like we did last weekend and people can't log on, those are the other ways that you can go and watch. All right. So, all right, we got a lot to talk about. All right. We're going to get into it, but it is Black History Month. And you guys,
yes, it is.
Oh, shout out to Anonymous. Great. Says, what's up, my brothers? Hey, what's up with you, Anonymous? Thank you. Thank you. I can't thank y'all enough for this, man. Really appreciate that. Look, we started in Black History Month, okay, and we wanted to honor that with Black History facts, and it was so dope. We said we're gonna keep this going because we don't shy away from the race talk here. Okay, a lot of sports shows they get a little antsy about that. Not over here, okay. And we like to start with some Black History facts to get you in the mood. It's not the show ain't always about that, but listen, we're gonna give it to you. You guys love it. We haven't heard one complaint about Black History facts.
No,
not one. You guys love it, and we're gonna keep giving it to you. So here we go. B's got the.
I'll tell you one thing. If you have complaints, we're still not gonna hear them. But to start off with the Black History fact here this week, as some of you may know, I live in West Virginia. And I was reading a little bit of West Virginia history. When we talked about Bethune-Cookman, a few weeks ago, because we were talking about the whole Ed Reed thing, I kind of mentioned that West Virginia had its own HBCU, Bluefield State. And so I was wondering, I was like, why would West Virginia have a HBCU? There ain't no Black people here. So I went and I was looking, it was founded in 1895. And what was happening around that time, around the turn of the century, coming into the 20th century, is that Black people were migrating to West Virginia to work in the coal mines, which is, the kind of the big industry or has been the big industry in West Virginia. And so I was just reading about that and how, those were kind of highly prized jobs because, I guess you could say they paid well enough. I don't really know on the conversion. They paid about $5 a day. But, it gave Black people a chance to kind of build a life, to build a future. And they said that also, even though it was very difficult work, very dangerous work, you kind of didn't really see your supervisor. They said that they would come through maybe once a day, and then people were just kind of on their own, which was valued with the black workers at the time. And so, what comes along with that is, if you have a lot of black people moving in, you need a place where black children can go to school. And there weren't really any options. There was one or maybe two schools that would teach black children at the time. So, Bluefield State University, as it's now known, or Bluefield Color Institute, as it was known at the beginning, was founded. Started off with about 40 students. And they just kept building, and became an accredited 4-year college, around mid 20th century. And it was they had a rich cultural history at Bluefield. They said that Langston Hughes would go there to recite poetry. Joe Louis held exhibition matches at Bluefield State. Duke Ellington went there and performed. So it was a place of higher learning, obviously, but a very good school. And like I said, had a rich cultural history there for all the black students. And even up to today, they have an active alumni association. It's small, but they every year travel back to Bluefield State for the homecoming, even though, they got rid of their football team back in the 70s. And so it's kind of just a luncheon and dance now. But they all credit Bluefield with playing a major role in helping them achieve everything that they have in their lives and their career goals, their family goals, and things like that. But that was relatively short-lived, as segregation was outlawed, and automation kind of took away a lot of the coal mining jobs. Black people started leaving West Virginia, and then you had military people coming back from the Korean War, right? So black people are leaving, white people are coming back to the state and looking around and saying, hey, this is a cheap school. I can go there using the GI Bill and get an education and kind of reintegrate into society. So that kind of, it shifted the demographic a bit. What was an all black school, was kind of about 50% black, 50% white at that point. But then in 1966, the state appointed Wendell Hardway as the first white president at Bluefield State. And they said in 1954, the faculty was 100% black. And by 1967, the faculty was down to about 30% black. When Hardway came in, he immediately hired 23 new teachers, all of them white. And again, the racial demographic was continuing to shift in favor of white students because it's West Virginia, not a lot of black people there.
Right.
Black people kind of went north to find work, and so the black students at Bluefield kind of felt a certain way about it. Right, there was one student in particular, Edgar James, who was actually a high school teacher and a railway worker at the same time that he was attending Bluefield. He was a kind of a leader of the black students at the time, and he said that they were trying to commit mental genocide and basically intentionally removing the black students from Bluefield State. He presented, along with all the other black students, presented Hardway with a list of 35 demands, one of which was his immediate resignation, which, I mean, he didn't really appreciate it. And I know this is going to shock you. He did not resign.
Shocked.
So the racial tension on the campus and between the administration and the students continued to grow. In 1968, during Thanksgiving, like the Thanksgiving break, everybody's away from the school. A bomb went off in the gymnasium. Because there had been a lot of protests leading up to it, and that was kind of the culmination. There was an explosion in the gym, and Hardway came back and essentially used that as a reason to shut down the dorms at the school, even though nobody was injured in the explosion, because again, like I said, everybody was at home. They shut down the dorms and essentially just didn't reopen them, which you can't really say was a safety measure. Because again, nobody was injured or anything like that. But what happened is that since there were not a lot of people in West Virginia, most of the black students at Bluefield were from out of state. They traveled and they lived in the dorms. They lived on campus. All of the white students essentially lived off campus. So shutting down the dorms was a way to get rid of a large part of the black student body and deter black students from coming to Bluefield State. So now, you look at Bluefield, which is still an HBCU because there's no way to remove that. It's historically, and they were all black at one point. Now you look at the student body there, and it is over 90% white. And they're kind of losing that history that it had, that culture that it had from the beginning. Like I said, the Alumni Association still goes back and they try to educate the younger students who are there now, but it seems to be just kind of like any other school. So I just want to kind of share that. It's a sad story of the HBCU that was once thriving and like I said, had a rich cultural history, just kind of losing that identity throughout the years. Yeah, and still getting the federal funding because it is a public school, still getting millions of federal funding because it's an HBCU, but with little to no black students there.
That point you made at the end, man, like that happens a lot with our community, right? Funding that's supposed to be set aside to help our community gets siphoned off by other groups, right? Mm-hmm. Or it gets routed to places that doesn't help us. And and people look at our situation and be like, oh well, why can't they pick themselves up? These other groups do it, and it's just like, well, the funding actually goes to them. They actually get the help, and there are other groups trying to actively tear us down through violence or policy or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's sad to hear, Yeah. But hey, it is what it is, man. Who is SWAC if they ain't SWAC?
I should mention also that Edgar James was arrested for the bombing at Bluefield, but the charges were later dropped, and so nobody was ever actually convicted of that particular act.
Shocker. Big Zach wants to know if you in Martinsburg. He's near Martinsburg.
No, yeah, not in Martinsburg, but close.
Yeah. Not he trust me, he ain't going too far into West Virginia. And shout out to our guy Suge Knight 323 says, always here to find out more about Black history from Brodny.
What's up, Suge?
See, listen. Suge sent off his DNA test. Okay, he's trying his 23andMe. He's trying to find out. Yeah. He's a proud Mexican Puerto Rican. Okay.
Yeah. Next week he's gonna be like, "Oh, he's here to find out more about my people."
The next, when that results come back and they find out he's 5% black, this is gonna be Suge.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all. I'm black.
That's gonna be Suge. Next week when he finds out he's 5% black.
Oh Lord.
All right. Let's get to it. Oh yeah, I had it queued up today, guys. All right, listen. Ravens hired Todd Monken. Okay, There was a lot of reaction on Twitter. There's a lot of videos out there from Ravens YouTubers. Check them out. Shout out to Engraven. Shout out to Nitro. Shout out to I think Ravens. You put something out too, I believe. I think you put something out. Coach, Hendo. Who else am I missing? Keeping it real. They all put out
everybody but us.
Everybody but us. But I'm naming the people that they should be looking at. Yeah. But what they probably saw in their timelines are the gatekeepers explaining to you, I mean, instantly, right? Like a minute after it was tweeted out, it's instantly great hire. Oh man, this makes perfect sense. I love it, right? And then you got some people that hate it, but we didn't tweet about it. We ain't really we obviously didn't put out any video because you're not getting anything from us early. Um, but honestly, initial reactions is I didn't like the hire, right? It's fine. Like I don't have to necessarily like it for it to be the right hire. You know what I mean? So all right, we'll wait and see. But I obviously don't get excited about it. I don't think it's the worst hire in the world. I think out of the options that we laid out for this team, that was the worst option. And it was also the obvious option. Like that was the move that I expected them to make, you know. So not surprised by it. But I will say this. I think the reason that a lot of people feel excited, the ones that do feel excited about that hire, is because they think he's going to run a similar offense that Giro did, that features a lot of Lamar running, as you know, I should say, because they highlight the 3 tight end set. They love that because they think Lamar's going to be running this offense. But what if Lamar isn't the quarterback? Do you still love that hire? Do you still think that's a great hire? Or are you sitting there saying, we should have probably gotten somebody a little bit more advanced?
Yeah. I think obviously the hire to make was Eric Bieniemy, and he's still out there, still available. That was kind of the home run hire. They didn't do that. But, they're on base, I guess, with Todd Monken. I hear a lot of people talking about how he elevated the play of Jameis and Ryan Fitzpatrick. I didn't really see that when he was in Tampa. They look like Jameis and Ryan Fitzpatrick, if I'm being honest. Now, I mean, granted, Jameis really went off the rails in terms of the turnovers the year after Monken left. That the year after Monken left was when he had his 30 interception season. But I don't really want to give Monken credit for containing that, because that same season he went to Cleveland and Baker Mayfield had the 22 touchdown, 21 interception campaign, right? So yeah, he's been an offensive coordinator in the NFL for 4 years. None of his offenses were particularly good. His last year in Tampa, they were 12th in points. That was the high watermark for Monken. I think that if you look at his offenses, you can expect that Mark Andrews will have a big year. I think Isaiah Likely will have a much better year as well. I would think around 600 yards for him. But I would expect J.K. Dobbins to have a huge year. I would expect him to get the most you can get out of Rashad Bateman. I think he's good at spreading the ball around to multiple different weapons. Obviously Baltimore needs to bring in more people, but I mean, as the team is constructed right now, I think he can utilize some of those guys much better than the previous offensive coordinator could. What I did not see, like I said, is any kind of real advancement in the quarterback play. That's not something that I would expect out of Monken. But luckily in Baltimore, that's not a thing that's really necessary if they do what they need to do and bring Lamar back. If they don't bring Lamar back, like you said, and it's a Tyler Huntley or God forbid a Baker Mayfield, I don't know how happy people are going to be with the offensive results from Baltimore this season.
Yeah, like I said, I don't personally like the pick, right? For a couple of reasons, but I'm not going to bash it either, right? I mean, he might turn out to be really good. So I mean, this is one of those hires. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, this is terrible. You know what I'm saying? I personally don't like it, but it is what it is. We'll see.
But it's an upgrade from Greg Roman, no question.
Yeah. Shout out to Marco G for the 333. Says listening to Monken talk offense is refreshing compared to hearing Giro. He doesn't seem like he pigeonholes himself to one philosophy, which is good. But I'll wait and see. Hopefully this means we trade for Mike Evans. That's one way to look at it. For sure. That's one way to look at it. The thing that the thing that doesn't get me excited about it is people showing what he did in college. I don't care what he did in college. That's amateurs.
Especially when you're talking about an amateur school that had more talent than everybody else, basically.
Yeah, because people will say, oh, well, look at all the NFL players they had on team. Yeah. What did the other team have? Week in and week out, right? I mean, That's great. That's great that they beat up on Akron. Okay, that doesn't impress me. What's he gonna do against other NFL talent week in and week out? That's what I want to know. And yes, okay, the Tampa Bay years, which is, I mean, that was a while back.
Wasn't that long ago?
It wasn't that long ago. It was long enough.
2016 through 2018, and then he was in Cleveland in 2019.
Oh, I forgot about Cleveland. Yes. Yeah. So, no, my bad. It wasn't that long ago. Cleveland. Well, look, Tampa Bay, he wasn't bad. Cleveland, it's just that doesn't sound to me, and especially when somebody like Eric Bieniemy is out there and he's interviewing with Washington right now. That actually makes me sick. There's just nothing you can tell me that's going to convince me that that's a better hire than Eric Bieniemy. Right? There's anything that you could say about Monken doesn't hold a candle to what Eric Bieniemy has done as an offensive coordinator. Right? And we just saw his offense on display. You could say it's Andy Reid's offense. What does Todd Monken have?
But Andy Reid says it's Eric's offense. So
yeah, I mean listen, that's the hire I wanted. Also, well, Byron Leftwich was number one for me. Right. And Byron Leftwich, again, he coached a Super Bowl offense. Right. Like his resume stands out way above Todd Monken. So, I mean, no, I'm not going to get excited about that when there are two clearly better candidates out there. Right. Is he turn out to be good? We'll see. He's going to, if Lamar stays, this will be probably the most talented quarterback he's coached. Yeah. This will be the most talented quarterback he's coached, and the offense could work. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not going to work, right? It could work, and I'm going to root for him because he's a Raven now. But to me, this did feel like this is the hire because this is the guy that would take it. Because the other tweet that came out, the other report was that the Ravens couldn't guarantee the other interviewees that Lamar was going to stay, right? Which is the right answer. Hey, we don't know. We're making every attempt, but we can't guarantee it, which is fine. But I think, especially in Eric Bieniemy's case, especially in Byron Leftwich's case, right? Byron Leftwich was a hot candidate. He got offered a head coaching job, turned it down in Jacksonville, then just got fired. He wants a quick turnaround. He doesn't want to go to a team that's going to be in rebuild mode. If I'm Bieniemy or Leftwich, I don't go to a team that could possibly be there and there's no Lamar Jackson. If there's no Lamar Jackson, that team is going to be awful, straight awful, right? I'm not going to that team. I need assurances that this man's going to stay. And if you can't give me those assurances, then I got to look elsewhere. So I can see from their standpoint, or any hot candidate, right? Because they want to have a great year with Lamar and get those head coaching calls. So I could see that being a reason why we ended up with him, because obviously Todd Monken trying to get back into the NFL. All right. Yeah. So of all the candidates that were out there that they've been talking about, he would be the one that'd be like, yeah, no problem. yeah, whatever. Whoever you want to bring in, I'll coach him. I'll take it. All right, let's read a couple of comments here because we got some opinions here. Hey, shout out to our brother, Mr. OTR Mike. Salute to you.
What's up, Mike?
Yes, indeed. 102 people in here, by the way. Go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button. All right. Let's see. Jonathan Washington Jr. says, neither hate nor like the hire. All I heard initially is heavy tight end sets, which I don't like. At his time in Georgia, but after doing more research about him, I think it's fair argument that it was more due to personnel. Probably. Yeah, that's the one thing I've heard about him is he makes use of with what he's got. Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't care about that either. I want to see explosive offense.
Well, yeah, and the problem with trying to make that argument is, what does Baltimore have? Mm-hmm. They have tight ends.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't like that. Top Billing says Monken is Roman 2.0. Okay, heavy tight end and running back usage, lack of involvement with receivers. Georgia receivers complain about lack of opportunities and involvement. I don't like it one bit. All right, okay.
Because even when you look at Tampa Bay, where Mike Evans had really good years under Monken, he's Mike Evans, of course. You would expect him to play really well. And I'm not saying this as a negative at all. He did heavily involve the tight ends. I think it was more in the red zone. You saw Cameron Brate and even OJ Howard, scoring more touchdowns than you would expect those guys to be scoring. So I think it's and like I said, I don't think that's a negative thing. I think if you have the receivers, obviously he'll use the receivers, but being able to involve all of your weapons is a positive.
Yeah. All right, we got a couple donations in here. First, let's get our guy Sugar up here. For the $1.69 says, "Sup LBHT, just wanted to show support to one of my favorite sports podcasts. Appreciate you both along with Hendo, Big Mike, Coach Evans, and all the LBHT crew. Brodny, how is the Super Cucumber coming along? Great show." And the Super Cucumber is from Stardew Valley. We are big Stardew Valley
it's coming
gamers.
along great.
And we just got one from Anonymous. Shout out to Anonymous for a $13 donation. Money making mention. I see you. I got you in 1 second. It says, "Didn't want that OC. I was Eric Bieniemy or bust." Okay. All right. I feel you. Wait, hold on. He's got more here. It says, "What happened to 200% on signing Lamar long term?" Good point. Damn those Ravens. Steve Bisciotti, you dumb sumama. Hey, good point. What happened to 200%? Why ain't you told reporters, you told the public 200% chance, right? Why ain't you tell those interviewees 200% chance?
Mm-hmm.
Good point. And again, shout out to Money Making Mitch for the 333. Says, "My issue isn't the offense going to work because Lamar made it work with Roman. My issue is this guy doesn't make it easy for Lamar. I want wide open touchdowns like Mahomes got in the Super Bowl." Let me tell you something, man. You're absolutely right. That's how I feel about it. Maybe he can do it. Maybe he can do it, right? Because listen, Jameis Winston, I mean, that ain't easy to work with. You know what I'm saying? Jameis will give you moments of brilliance and moments of sheer stupidity.
Well, it's funny because people gave him credit for making Jameis look good. You know who made Jameis look good? Sean Payton. James had 14 touchdowns to 3 interceptions when he was playing for Sean Payton until he got hurt.
Yeah,
and then the subsequent he put him back on the field.
Yeah, he was looking like the man.
Yeah.
He looked like the man over there. Oh man, we getting all kinds of donations. Shout out to Ben H for $20 donation. That says, "Happy anniversary, great content." Thank you. Yes, it is our anniversary. If you're just tuning in, our 3-year anniversary. Man, I feel good, man. I feel good. Like me and B talked about a 3-year plan when we started. Right, we said we're gonna give it 3 years, and we'll see where we're at in 3 years. If it's working, we'll keep going. If not, we'll just say, hey, we tried, and it is what it is. But I think it's working. Okay. Like that's my thing. When every time the Chiefs play in the playoffs, when there's no other games to watch, and you have to watch greatness out there. This is a time where everybody's like, man, I want that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, how can you argue against that? How can you say, we don't need that over here? You don't want wide open receivers? Like the scheme works so well that they're just, I mean, it's not just that game, right? Obviously they played a masterful game and they put out some stuff that Philly's never seen before. But I mean, watch their highlights all throughout the year. They scored at will. Shout out to Raven Ron for the $5 donation. Says, "Happy anniversary. Todd Monken sounds like another Harbs whipping boy. Oh, hire someone who will low key take Harb Clown's job." Oh, okay.
Thank you, Ron. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Like, I want somebody that wants to go out there and be explosive. Again, I gotta say maybe he becomes that, or maybe he is that. And he can show that when he gets here and Lamar's here. But nothing in his past has shown it. And
well, I'll say one thing, in Tampa Bay, the 1 year they did lead the league in yards or in passing yards, and they were, I think, 3rd overall in yards. So, I think if they give him the weapons, you'll go out there and you'll have an explosive offense. But that's the big thing. It's on Baltimore. It's on Eric DeCosta and Bisciotti and Harbaugh to go out and make sure that you have the talent to support an explosive offense. Because like to the person's point about the 200% signing and them not giving assurances to the offensive coordinators. Like, okay, you can't guarantee that he signs. You can't because maybe he just doesn't want to. But you could have guaranteed that he wouldn't be playing anywhere else. Yes, you didn't do that either.
Yeah, you why can't you say don't worry about it? He's playing here one way or another.
Yeah.
Right.
So
wait, so did he coach at Oklahoma State?
I mean, yeah, he did coach at Oklahoma State. He was the offensive coordinator, and I looked. I wouldn't say they had average talent. Maybe you say his second year it was average talent. His first year was not average talent. His first year he had Brandon Whedon and Justin Blackman.
Justin Blackman was a bad boy.
And you're talking about the Big 12 conference that doesn't really play defense. The second year he was there, I mean, Joseph Randall was an NFL player, and they had one decent receiver, Josh Stewart. I don't think he made it to the league, but you're also talking about a team that went 8-5 in that second year. Yeah, and then he was out.
Okay, so here's I'm trying to get both sides of the spectrum here, right? Because like I said, I don't like it, but that doesn't mean I'm going to argue against people that like it necessarily. Mm-hmm. But Mikey is saying word is he wasn't calling plays in Cleveland. If that makes you guys feel better. And Jonathan Washington Jr. says the same thing. He says, if I'm not mistaken, I think Freddie Kitchens was the one calling plays during his 1 year as OC in Cleveland. Still don't believe they picked the most accomplished candidate available. So yeah, I mean that's a good point. So he wasn't necessarily calling the plays,
Well, it's like I said on Coach's video in the comments. I think it's a competent but unexciting hire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Let's read a couple more comments here because they are flying in here. Look, guys, we can't get to the as many comments as we used to because you guys have really supported us and the chat just blows up. But as you can see, if you use our super chat method, okay, I even put up the graphic here. Look, right below B, $ LBHT Show. All right, that's the Cash App. Also, the pin link that you see in the chat box, it's up again. Okay, that'll take you to Stream Elements. Both ways, you leave your donation, leave your comment, and you'll get a nice little animation right next to my face, and I'll read that comment. Also, patreon.com/LBHT Show. For as little as $3 a month, you get access to our Discord, and you can chat 24/7 in there. All right. Shout out to Top Billing for the $10 donation. Thank you. What did I say, B?
Let me pull it back. I said shout out to y'all. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Top Billing.
Thank you, Top Billing. Let's see what we got here. What's up, Big Reg? Big Reg is in the house. Hold on a second. Hold on. I'll get back to you, Big Reg. It looks like he's having a conversation with somebody else. Suge says Pro Bowl Huntley. Okay, all right, yeah, that might be his quarterback.
That's right.
Tanja, what's going on? Tanja says, hey, Flock, what's going on with you, Tanja? Thanks for coming through. One session says heavy tight ends again. Roman 2.0. We got another Roman 2.0 here. All right, okay.
It's funny you mentioned wanting Byron Leftwich. It seems like nobody even wants to talk to Byron Leftwich about anything, OC or otherwise. So it's kind of strange.
Yeah, JP, what's going on? Says, you guys think this feels like Bisciotti or EDC had a hand in picking Monken? No, I think they let Harbaugh. I would think EDC has some say in it, right? Mm-hmm. But this feels like him and Harbaugh worked. I think they worked pretty closely on it.
To me, it feels like a collective failure.
Yeah, they said that they took Lamar's input, but you gotta be careful with how they word things, right? Taking input is, well, what kind of offense do you want to see next year? Yeah, I like to see less running from me. Okay, thanks. I'll talk to you later. Right. By the way, I want to point this out because you guys caught that, right? You guys caught that they spoke to Lamar about his input in the offense, right? A couple of weeks ago when he was in the facility eating breakfast, they saw him then. They had a good conversation with him then. But it takes two to tango, right? But he's not picking up the phone. Isn't that? I think that's what Jonas Safer said on 105.7 The Fan the other day, that Lamar's not answering the phone. Really? So how did he provide input into this coaching hire? It's weird.
Well, he's doing a little screening of the calls, right? And if it rings, he's like, that sounds like a contract call. not picking that one up.
Yeah,
You know, a couple hours later, it rings. He's like, this one feels more OC related. We'll see what Eric talking about.
How is he doing that? How is he providing this input if he's not picking up the phone? That's weird. It sounds like he is available to talk if they're seriously trying to talk, but they're not really trying to come close to the number that he wants. Thank you, Kimberly Harmon. She says, congratulations on your anniversary lunch break hot take. Hope you reach 1 million subs.
Listen,
thank
from
you.
Your lips to God's ears right there.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to coach and wife. Oh, appreciate you. Thank you. Says happy anniversary, guys. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
And shout out to Go Away. Says with the new offense, how will I shine in practice? That is the fake Away. Go away. Okay. He's not liking what he's hearing there. He says this might get complicated. I don't like complications. Okay. Devon Allen says big if Brodny, I don't trust the Ravens with wide receivers. Yeah. Look, so,
they're already setting you up for we couldn't afford to bring in Mike Evans or DeAndre Hopkins. Talking about how difficult it's going to be with Lamar's contract to get a wide receiver, a big time wide receiver in there, which is complete BS. And I wish that the beat writers wouldn't just let him say stuff like that. Push back on it, because you didn't sign anybody the last 5 years when Lamar was making nothing.
Well, I got a solution to that, but first I gotta read this.
You didn't sign anybody, except for you went out and you gave the $100 million to Roquan, and that was easy. That wasn't difficult at all for you.
Well, I have a solution to our problems. So first, let me I'll read this in a second. S2T. I'll read this right now. S2T. Thank you for the 333. Says Roman to Carolina.
No.
Okay. Is that a troll or is that true?
No, that's a troll. They're not talking to him.
Oh, okay. The only team that I know that's spoken to Roman is Washington. And shout out to David Injurbo for the 333. Says me too. I like Ojabo's potential, man. I feel good about Ojabo. I'm not totally closing the door on Owe. Doesn't look good, but we'll talk about that another time. My solution, because listen, we don't have the money. What are we gonna do? There was a solution that presented itself today. Okay, if you haven't heard the breaking news, Patrick Queen took all his Raven stuff off his IG page. Okay, also social media pages. He is not affiliating with the Ravens right now. I think he's saying trade me. You know what we can do with the trade? We can open up
yourself a wide receiver 4.
We can open up some we can open up some cap, you know what I'm saying? The money that we're gonna spend on picking up his 5th-year option. You don't have to worry about that. We got the money right there. Problem solved. That's a first round pick. Problem solved, right? We can get a good solid late 3rd round pick for him in return. Okay, more picks, more money. Who says no to that? Huh? There you go. All right. A deep Mahmoud, what's going on? Says it's a good hire, but it could have been better. Okay, depending on who the passing game coordinator is. I would be curious if Zach Robinson was brought in and they combined Monken's experience with McVay's scheme. So pass game coordinator, that doesn't necessarily have to be a thing, right? Like you can be an offensive coordinator, just call the plays. Yeah. Pass game coordinator, I feel like, and Coach Evans is in here. Coach, correct me if I'm wrong. Those positions, pass game coordinator and stuff like that, those positions are more so I need to hook my friend up with a job and put something on his resume. Sometimes they contribute, but that's not necessarily, a thing. Is it?
I think it depends on the person and the team, right? I think some places it's absolutely just, hey, that's my friend. I need a title for him. But I think other players, it really, it can be, it could be, that they really have a big impact. I would be cautious in saying that Zach Robinson is bringing Sean McVay's scheme.
Yeah. Agent E. Yeah, PQ said, like one session said, he said he's out. He didn't say it, but he's pulling the Hollywood Brown method. Okay. He said, it works for Hollywood. I'm gonna try that. You didn't pick up my 5th year option. I think that's what it is. I think they said we're not picking up your 5th year option, and he said, all right, then I'm gonna go Hollywood on you. Trade me. All right. He wants his money. All right. Go. Did you click that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they run the 7-on-7 and mirror pass to match the run game. So yeah, it's if they're good at their job, they'll make a positive impact.
Okay.
But if not, I think that I think it would be negligible.
And shout out to Anonymous for the $10 donation. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Says happy anniversary, LBHT. To celebrate a hanging with Hendo stream on Saturday night would be nice. Keep up the great work. Oh, pressure on Hendo. Pressure. Kogan Sheriff says if Lamar resigns, he should put a clause in his contract where he gives EDC 20 to 25 wide receiver names and a 1 to 2 year deadline to get one. If they don't, 20 to 25 is giving him way too much grace. Listen, I got 5 names, and you need to get you need to get one of them. Okay, are we not a top notch organization?
No.
Okay, well, do we pretend to be? Do we pretend to be?
Yes, you do.
Then stop making
with the best of them.
Listen, this is another reason why I don't like to hire, right? Because I feel like Todd Monken wasn't the first choice. Why didn't you get your first choice? Right? Unless that first choice got a head coaching job, why didn't you get your first choice? There's always an excuse with this team. I'm tired of the excuses, right? If they said that they need to upgrade their wide receiver room. If they don't do it, if they don't get Mike Evans, if they don't get somebody in the draft or to really upgrade, if they don't trade for Hopkins that we know is going to be available, I don't want to hear the excuses. You need to make something happen. No more excuses. Do your job. Hot Boy Ride 89 says G-Roll was a running coordinator. Yeah. His whole career. Shout out to Anonymous for the $25 donation. Says, what do you think that Mr. Jackson is thinking right now? That's a good question. I honestly don't know.
I honestly think right now, and granted, again, nobody knows what he's thinking. He doesn't really say anything publicly. But I can tell you, if it were me in that situation, what I'd be thinking was not enough.
Yeah. All right, a couple more, and let's talk about the other coaching jobs that we do like. Okay. Oh, and Banks DDS, appreciate the $5 donation. Says Monken, not bad OC. We'll see. Hope Lamar balls. Yeah. Hey, listen. If you like the move, if you like the hire, I ain't gonna bash it. I don't like it, but man, look, it ain't G-Roll. Okay. And yes, you can't get worse than G-Roll. G-Roll wasn't the worst. He was pretty bad. All right. But I do think Monken is a step up from that. That might be enough. He might be great. Right. I just I don't feel good about it, but he might turn out to be that. Yolanda says that's a great idea, Hendo. Sorry, I cannot join you. Oh, talking about hanging with Hendo. She said, oh, she's gonna be sailing the high seas this weekend. Oh, salute to you. Enjoy that. No internet connection as well. Oh man, that's what I want to be. Nobody can call me. Yes, please. But Devon Allen says, Jose, they said they would retool the room. You have to watch the play on words. Yeah, I think they're going to get the same type of player, just different names. Well, I mean, yes, of course. Of course, that's what they're going to say.
They're going to shuffle the same names around the depth chart.
Yeah. Alice Rada says Hollywood was definitely a genius to get traded to Arizona, where they barely conceal how much they hate their own quarterback. But they paid him. Right? I mean, listen, I don't care about the words, right? I don't care. Like, yes, we tease him, right? We all make fun. Oh, if he could put down the Call of Duty and study the playbook, he got his money. Money talks. Money talks. I don't care about all that other nonsense, right? Money talks, BS walks. Oh, we love you. We love you. We love you. We're not going to pay you. You can keep that.
Yeah.
I'd rather they say, man, I hate your guts, but damn it, we need you. Here's your money. Shout out to Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Oh, wow. MJ has blessed us with with $2.30. Okay, 23. That's what I'm talking about. Says, what's good, y'all? This is your friendly neighbor MJ. A friendly reminder that I am still the GOAT. Retired twice, came back and won 6 rings in 15 seasons with a tougher road to the finals. Make sure to hit the like button, support the channel, and peace.
Jordan is drunk as hell. Tougher road to the finals?
Man, Jordan is really triggered by LeBron being the all-time scorer. A lot of people are triggered by that. A lot of people, like, what did LeBron do to you? All he did was just be great.
Outdo your childhood favorite.
Yeah.
I'll say this.
Our childhood favorite.
I'll give you this. Space Jam was still better than LeBron's version. You still got that, Jordan fans.
Thanks.
You ain't got nothing on the court.
Although,
but you still got Space Jam.
But we know now, R. Kelly, the song that doesn't, So
whole other thing.
Okay, listen. Let's go over to the other side, okay? The Panther side. Panthers fans, Panthers Nation
is greener.
The grass is definitely greener. All right. Let's speak on it a little bit because Panthers hired. First of all, I like the Frank Reich hire. I love the Deuce Staley hire. I was disappointed that he didn't get the offensive coordinator job, but they're still searching. They hired Jim Caldwell.
They sure did.
And is still searching because he is not the offensive coordinator. What is he be?
He is the senior offensive assistant. Well, actually, just a senior assistant, not even offensive assistant. They say he's going to be overlooking all 3 phases, and people will be reporting to him. It sounds an awful lot like Frank Reich doesn't want a job, but he's getting paid and he's delegating, man. He's delegating with the best of them. He's delegating better than John Harbaugh right now. They still have a hole at OC, and I think, they said that what we talked about before is the case. They threw a lot of money at Jim Caldwell. They threw a lot of money at Deuce Staley, guys to get him to sign up. And I think that they're trying to do that right now with Brian Johnson to get him to come in and be the OC instead of staying in Philly as the OC. So we'll see there. I think if they don't get Brian Johnson, then you're going to be looking back at Jim Bob Cooter or the guy out of LA, Thomas Brown, who they've interviewed for the OC spot as well. But they have built a fantastic staff on paper. A ton of experience all throughout the staff, except for the quarterback coach. Josh McCown doesn't have any actual coaching experience, but he does have 19 years as a player. And if you've seen him on YouTube with Josh Norris, he's obviously a very knowledgeable guy. He does a great job of breaking things down. And everybody who's been around him thinks that he's kind of he's a brilliant guy. He's going to be a great coach. That's why Houston was trying to hire him as their head coach with no experience the last couple of years. They couldn't really push that through, but that's, their loss is apparently Carolina's gain, because now he's decided to do it the old fashioned way and just get a coaching job and start working his way up.
Yeah. Yeah. And salute to our guy, Couch Rider Raven, who's back from his overseas tour. He's been gone for a minute. He did let us know that he was going to be out for the NFL season, but he's back home safe. Salute to you, my friend.
Yes.
Appreciate you coming through. Listen, if look, any of you guys that are new here and you don't know about Couch Rider Raven, go over there, subscribe to him. Okay, another Ravens YouTuber. All right, a good friend of ours. And we appreciate you coming through because you owe us, Couch Rider. Do not think we forgot about our bet. Okay. You owe us some shirts. Okay. What did you say? Egyptian cotton, I believe were your words. Listen. Look, Couch represented the league of crochet defenders. Okay, salute to you. I'm an extra large, my friend. B is is a couple sizes larger than that, but we'll send you the exact measurements. Okay, I need it. You know, I might need to get a little bit smaller so I can get the gun showing because it's getting warm outside. Okay, and I'm not gonna actually work out, but if you make it smaller, I can show the muscles a little bit more. All right, but listen. He rolled for his boy Prochet. I respect it, right? I respect it. Look, you feel good about somebody and you say, hey, I like him. I think he's going to do great. We had to kind of had to pressure him to give some real numbers there, but he said, look, 700 yards and 5 touchdowns or whatever, he's going to do it. And when he blows up, don't be a fan. We said, all right.
Yeah, no danger of that.
He was almost great. He was almost great. If he complete had he done like one of like 3 things, had he completed that pass that he threw, had he
did complete it.
Well, I was proven wrong to our team. If he came down with that Hail Mary catch that hit him in the hands, but
best hands on the team.
Best hands on the team, but
possibly in the league.
Yeah.
Possibly in the league.
You guys are killing me. LeBron James is here, ladies and gentlemen. Saying, I'm not the GOAT. Thanks for the respect, LBHT Show. We're going to get to the NBA talk in a second, man. Coach wants to know who was crazy enough to think Prochet would ball. A lot of people.
Hi, Coach.
Listen.
But no, but seriously though, it was a bet. There were specific guidelines, like you said. I believe it was 700 yards and 5 touchdowns. So let's go to the tally. In 15 games, James Prochet, he had 0 starts. I mean, that's obviously political. He had 17 targets, 8 catches for 62 yards, 0 touchdowns, but he did have 3 first downs and a long of 12. Caught 47.1% of his targets, had 3.6 yards per target. Nothing in the rushing department there. He did have several penalties, and he also, as you alluded to earlier, had the interception.
Coach, this is your petty beat.
I think I'm just trying to be an official.
Definitely political. Man, listen. It was all business with me. I took little jabs here and there throughout the season, but I supported James Prochet, okay? I wore the Channel 3 hoodie. Okay. Mm-hmm. And when he messed up in those games, I didn't even bring it up. Y'all brought it up, but I wasn't gonna bring it up because it's not his fault that y'all put that pressure on him. Okay. It's not his fault. He didn't do anything but try to be the best player he could be. All right. Mm-hmm. And he still doesn't have 200 total yards for his career.
Yes, he does. Don't be like that.
What does he have?
He has got
205.
You know what? That's rude. First of all, he has got 278, sir.
All right, listen.
My man has been up and down the field 2 3/4 times and has not found the end zone yet.
Marco G said, "Y'all tripping? Prochet will make a great number 9 wide receiver." Look, we're done with this. We are not crapping on Prochet anymore.
We're not done with this until we clip all the comments and put out the video.
I don't have it. I only have Venom for the hardcore ones like Io Horace and whoever else. Well, no, Io Horace was his roommate, right? That was his roommate in college or whatever. Listen. There's only a couple that I got some smoke for. Everybody else, there's nothing wrong with rooting for players on your team. It's fine. I respect it. But Carolina Panthers, another team that I respect right now, and I told y'all, watch out. Shout out to Anonymous. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna read that in a minute. We'll read it to you in a second. But look, they're making all the moves that they should have done before they went and hired Matt Rule. But I like a team that learns from the mistakes.
Yeah.
This coaching staff. Coach is saying Greg went to Carolina as well. Is this true?
That can't be true.
If that's true, I have to.
No, because they're
I have to reel my comments back in about respect.
He's lashing out because he said I was being petty.
Okay. Look, but for the most part, man, like I like everything that they're doing. They're taking the time putting together this coaching staff, and it just remains offensive coordinator and quarterback. I didn't read that anonymous tip before you go and see if this is true or not, because B is shook right now. Okay, B is
he interviewed with Washington yesterday. He's not talking to Carolina.
Oh, okay, but you okay? Congratulations, you scared Brodny. Okay, are you happy now?
No, they didn't. Listen, believe me. If Greg Roman was sniffing around my team, I would have known long before I logged on here. Like,
hey, appreciate the anonymous for the $10 donation. Thank you.
Yes. So that said, why wasn't Coach Caldwell hired for Panthers offensive coordinator? I think that they're targeting Brian Johnson, and I think that they had to really convince him to come back. He wanted a head coaching job and deserves a head coaching job, right? He's beyond, I think, the coordinator portion of his career. He proved himself in Indianapolis and again in Detroit. So he didn't want less than a head coaching job. But this is where we talked about with David Tepper kind of learning from his mistakes with Matt Rule. He went after a ton of NFL experience, and he's the richest owner in the league. And he's throwing the checkbook around, right? Yeah. And he said, "Hey, Jim Caldwell, we are looking to get a young quarterback in here. So we went and got Josh McCown, who's played quarterback forever. We went and got Frank Reich, who played quarterback in the league and has been a quarterback coach and offensive coach for a while. And we need Jim Caldwell, who helped Peyton Manning take his game to another level, helped Matt Stafford take his game to another level. They're trying to put together the softest landing spot possible. And I'm going to say now, I think that, all of these coaches and the rumors about Derek Carr, which, it looks like now that they may not be that interested in Derek Carr, but, specifically, but I think that they might just sit where they are and take Anthony Richardson and then just go ahead and let him sit for a year.
Yeah. They are definitely looking at one of these quarterbacks. And yeah, Couch Rider, we did discuss Todd Monken. I don't like it. I don't hate it, but I don't like it. And we're just kind of getting the pulse of the room. Some people like it, some people don't like it, but definitely much better prospects out there, at least, right? And it's not even arguable. Eric Bieniemy is a 10 times better prospect, and so is Byron Leftwich. And those are the two that I want us to really look at. So okay,
at least, like we said, they did get somebody with some coordinator experience.
Yeah,
so that's a positive. I think we all know that he's a better coordinator than Greg Roman, so that's a positive. It's just in these situations, like I said, when you are looking for a home run, you don't really want a single, but the single gets you on base, and it gets you moving.
Yeah. But the Panthers, man, like, this tells me that Scott Fitterer and Tepper, more so Fitterer, understood the personnel that he had, right? When he hired Frank Reich, he understood, because Frank Reich, I think, is a coach that prefers veteran quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, he played quarterback, but I mean, you look, I think that's kind of what got him in trouble in Indianapolis, bringing in Philip Rivers, then trading for Carson Wentz, then trading for Matty Ice, right? I think those are the things that got him up out of there. And I think they like Frank Reich because obviously he's a good coach. But they wanted somebody that, or some bodies, because they got Josh McCown in there. They wanted a staff that can work with a young quarterback, like you said. I think these moves absolutely point towards them looking to get somebody in the draft. who knows, man? Maybe they are really trying to make their move to get CJ Stroud.
Yeah, it's possible, but I think they're setting themselves up to where I'm trying to find the name. They hired another coach out of Indianapolis as well that had worked with Frank Reich. It's Matt. I want to say it's like Max Parks or something like that. But they hired him as the as a pass game coordinator, and he has also play calling experience because once Frank got fired, he took over as the play caller for Jeff Saturday for the rest of last season, and now Frank's brought him over to be on Carolina staff as well. But I think they're getting a lot of young offensive minds on the staff, and not even just young offensive minds, a lot of successful offensive minds on the staff, and they're putting themselves in a position where they can go after CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. But I think, things are going to start trending towards those guys going 1 and 2, right? So I think that they're putting themselves into a position where they'll be comfortable if Chicago or Arizona or whoever is asking too much, that they'll be comfortable sitting at number 9 and taking Anthony Richardson or whoever is there and saying, we have the coaches that we can sit him on the bench and we can develop him to what we need him to be over the course of the first couple of years.
So, okay. The missing piece is offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
With who's left out there, I would think you would want Eric Bieniemy, but they're not talking to him. But like, who do you think it could be? Because there hasn't been any talks of them really interviewing anybody, right?
Well, no, they've interviewed a few people. I think, like I said, I think they're looking to convince Brian Johnson to leave Philly. I think they're trying to up the salary and say, hey, it's the same position, but it's not the same position. You can make a lot more over here. I think that's kind of what they're trying to do right now. They've interviewed Jim Bob Cooter, who's the passing game coordinator in Jacksonville. He was a previous offensive coordinator for the Lions with Jim Caldwell, and they've also interviewed Thomas Brown, who was the tight ends coach in LA with the Rams under McVay. So, it's just a matter of, I think, they're going to call Brian Johnson and see what his answer is. And then they'll move on to number 2 on the list and, see what their answer is. And then, they'll keep going through the list. But I imagine it'll be one of those 3 guys. And we should probably be finding out here pretty soon.
If they nail this and then they nail the draft of the quarterback, watch out. That's all I can say. Watch out. All right. We are an hour in. Okay. Thanks everybody that's still in the chat. We got 98 people in here. Go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right. We are going to get into some NBA talk, and then we're going to do some bonus time. And then we are going to do the overtime show. What is going on the overtime show? There it is. Mr. Eric Bieniemy talking to Pat Mahomes. Eric Bieniemy, who should have already been a head coach, has not gotten a head coaching job. Summing up, the hires that have transpired over the last couple of years have been ridiculous. They've been atrocious. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion. His team just won a Super Bowl, and I mean, he's getting passed over, it seems like, for offensive coordinator jobs, right? Mm-hmm. He interviewed with Washington today. They also interviewed Greg Roman. If he loses out to Greg Roman, I think that's a clear clear civil lawsuit right there, right?
No danger of that. He's not losing anything to Greg Roman. Greg Roman's not getting that job.
Let's see. Cash Riot says, any idea what happens in these interviews that goes to crap? Nothing happens in these interviews. I don't think he has bad interviews. I think that's just an excuse not to hire him. Right? Look at some of the. You think he had a worse interview than Josh McDaniels?
Or Dan Campbell, if we're being honest.
Or Dan Campbell. And we like Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
Right. You think he's done? You think he was worse than what's his name? Urban Meyer. Right? Like he's I mean, the guy's a jerk.
But the fact though is, what does it matter what you say in an interview? Like, unless it's something just completely out of left field and just, beyond offensive. You're talking about a guy who's been to 3 Super Bowls in 5 years and won 2 of them.
Well,
it doesn't matter what you say.
We're not gonna give him too much. We're gonna really dig deep into the overtime show on this subject. Okay, so if you want to be a part of that, patreon.com/LBHT Show. In fact, while we're on the subject here, I mean, look, we're about to go into bonus time and talk some NBA, but first we gotta get a word from our sponsors. Ourselves, yes. You just heard me talk about it. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. Let's take this down for a second, B. Let's take this down. Yes. You see all the social media right there at LBHT Shows, where you can find us on all your favorite social media platforms. All right, so go over there and hit the follow. Patreon.com/LBHT Shows, where you find the overtime show. It's where you find our Discord. I see a lot of people in there in the chat. You know, you're typing your questions, you're typing your comments. And if your attitude pop, you'll copy and paste it in there 2 or 3 more times to get our attention. Okay, but if you really need to be heard, right, and you say, hey, I don't want to do the super chat tonight, okay, I want to save my money, hey, we get that. But if you sign up to our Discord, you can keep that party going 24/7. We always have lively conversations in there. We're in there all the time. All the members from the LBHT crew are in there. Coaches in there. Hendo from Ravens Online Ungatekeeper, Suge, they're all in there. All right. So you have thoughts that you know, and you're not really feeling the Twitter spaces. All right. You want something a little bit more civil, right? Come to our Discord. But look, we got 3 tiers for Patreon. B's going to tell you about those tiers right now.
Yes, we have the $3 tier, which is a general support tier and also gets you into our LBHT Pick'em League that we do every year, where we give away a custom LBHT trophy. This year it's actually transitioned into a plaque since Mike broke the trophy. So congratulations to Hendo for winning that this year.
Congrats, Hendo.
We have the $10 tier, which gets you the LBHT crew coin that Jose has right there. And that also gets you into our fantasy football league. We have a dynasty league where we give away a custom championship belt at the end of every season. Congratulations to Buck for winning that this year. Never happened again. Don't know how it happened this time. Will never happen again. And we also run a redraft league for fun. We can start up a second dynasty league if there's enough interest as well. And then we have the $20 tier, which is a combined tier for this show and our boxing podcast that we do with OTR Mike, Ring Kings podcast. On the $20 tier, you get everything that I mentioned, plus the custom poker deck that we put together featuring our top 25 boxers of all time. It was a lot of fun putting that list together and having the conversation. It's a 5-part series, so if you haven't checked that out, definitely head over to Ring Kings podcast and subscribe and check out the 5-part series there. And we just put out our second pound for pound list, our current pound for pound list, so check that out as well.
We haven't put it out yet.
Okay, well, we didn't do that yet, but that's coming soon.
It's still in production.
Yeah, that's coming soon. And all of the tiers get you into the overtime show that we do every week following the live show. And all of the tiers, like Jose said, will get you into our Discord server.
All right. And you mentioned OTR Mike earlier. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Open mic with OTR Mike. All right. That, that's our guy right there. All right. He puts out, it is the what's the slogan? It's the podcast where
the mic is open for any conversation, no matter where it is, what it is, or who it is.
There you go. All right. So go subscribe. Great conversations over there. Make sure you subscribe and listen and follow him wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, our guy Hendo from Ravens Online Ungatekeepers. Make sure you're subscribed over there. Make sure you subscribe to Chris from subscribe to Deep Cover Podcast. Subscribe to Deep Cover Podcast. Follow Chris Just Joking on Twitter. Great follow. And you can find all of us every Monday night, 9 p.m. on Coach Evan's stream, Sip to Tally Films. That's the channel. You can find us over there for the Ravens Roundtable. All right. So, look, you like what you see here. I know you guys enjoy Coach's breakdowns of films. I know you guys love Hendo's takes on things. Deep Cover, those guys, they're dope. You already know what it is with OTR Mike. Make sure you subscribe to the whole Roundtable approved circle. Okay. That also includes Raven C. That's in the chat. Okay. That includes Pro Shay's #1 fan, Couch Rider Raven.
Big
So,
Zach
yeah.
says he's about to sign up right now. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, Big Zach, man. Thank you so much.
What's up,
All right.
Andrew? He says,
What's
I
up,
still can't
Andrew?
believe Buck won, especially with how much I helped Brodny, Hendo, Ferris, and OTR Mike. Listen, Andrew.
But you didn't help me.
The injuries got me, Andrew. I had 10 guys on IR for like the whole second half of the season. It was awful.
All right. Okay.
I don't know about all that, Mike.
All right, let's get into a little NBA talk. As LeBron James is here to start it off, says, I like D'Angelo. His drip game is great asset for us. Hypothetically, if I was the GOAT, like LBHT claims, Anthony would step his game up.
Not sure how that's a thing. Like, you can't make him play better.
So how come you couldn't win without Horace Grant?
Yeah, that's a question. Why don't you just make the next dude step up?
Yeah, you had to go and get Dennis Rodman. I'm just saying. Oh, okay. All right. So you guys saw me put out a video from my car, so you know something big had to happen because I don't go off script. Okay. But Kevin Durant got traded, was last Thursday. Yeah. I did not like the trade package. Right. I don't think I think over the course of time it will present itself to be a pretty good deal. Because I know the Nets draft really well, right? They haven't had a high pick in forever, and they've gotten some good players along the way, right? We got Karis LeVert. We had Jared Allen on the team now. We got Cam Thomas. Spencer Dinwiddie just came back. You know, he was in our development league. Nick Claxton. Like, we're getting these guys that are late first rounds, early second round picks. So what are they going to be able to do with mid to higher, maybe sometimes lottery picks? That remains to be seen. But for now, we have a team of just, okay guys. There's no stars on the team now, right? We had to trade away Kyrie. That's fine. I wanted that from the jump. And KD asked for a trade. That's fine. I wanted that from the jump as well. And
disrespectful to All-Star Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons, he just, I hate to say it because he's like 25 years old, but he's a shell of himself.
Right? All-Star Ben Simmons. It's a star.
Yeah. But look, man, like, it's always going to hurt when you lose those caliber of players. Like, I definitely acknowledge the type of players that KD and Kyrie are. So when you lose that type of talent, you're definitely not going to get that return back most of the time. But, man, like, they weren't winning, and they're doing more complaining than winning, and that's just not going to cut it. I would rather you just move along, because as a Nets fan, people are going to laugh like, it didn't work. No, it didn't work. And I'd rather you go somewhere else, and we're just, we're grinding it out and trying to find, some those guys that step up, and hopefully a star, emerges, or we trade for somebody or whatever. I'd rather be that team than a team of high expectations, and you have two guys that are just whining and getting swept in the first round. That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Right. I'm more disappointed in KD. I thought KD had more of that dog in him than Kyrie, but he doesn't. No. And he tossed a big game, especially on Twitter. But man, he's not that guy. Again, I don't hate them personally, but I go take that somewhere else.
You're just disgusted by their existence.
No. Ain't nothing like that. Ain't nothing like that, man. I don't get emotional about it. But B, what are your thoughts on that trade?
I would have told Kevin Durant to sit down and shut up. Honestly, like, he asked for the trade to Phoenix specifically after they moved Kyrie, and I'd be like, no. Like, you and Kyrie got together, concocted this whole thing. We gave you everything you wanted. You didn't show up. You didn't keep your friend in line, your best friend in line. He didn't show up for work most of the time. You didn't show up in the playoffs when you had the whole team together healthy. I mean, that wasn't like Boston, what was just flat out the better team than you. Like, you're the Nets. You've got Kevin Durant. You've got Kyrie Irving. You've got Seth Curry and these guys. You just laid down. Now, maybe you would have lost anyway, right? Boston was a very, very good team. Not saying that they weren't that, but to get swept, like you said, it's an embarrassment. And I'm not going to let you transfer that embarrassment onto me by admitting failure and moving both of you out. So Kyrie gets to go, and you get to sit here and go back to the playoffs with a great supporting cast and try to repair your image, but you're not going anywhere.
This hurts, Danity. New Jersey Nets reign supreme. Brooklyn hasn't come close. You're right.
I mean, I guess like the Nets ain't win anything either, but that's all right.
They made it to the finals.
Yeah, they did.
I think two finals.
They made it to back-to-back finals and got stomped out both times.
But it's still further than we got stomped out in the first round.
They did, but it's not. Hey, first loser, second loser, like whatever.
Listen, and this team's more talented. Yes,
I mean, yeah.
Nobody in that team comes close to KD.
I mean, Jason Kidd would argue that, but
look,
that's
great player, obviously, but he wasn't KD.
No, he was a pure point guard, a true point guard. Like you can't compare those guys.
Listen. I don't even accept the fact like you're saying. Well, okay, maybe they lose to Boston. I don't accept that either. You're supposed to be better than Boston.
Well, you should be better than Boston, right? You should be, but Boston's a very good team. I'm saying like maybe it goes 7 and you end up losing. I mean, you don't. That's not okay, but it's not. It's just Boston's year after game 2. It's a whole different thing.
The reason that KD gave for him requesting a trade in the offseason is the weakest thing I heard. Basically he's putting it on Steve Nash, the coach that he requested. And don't let anybody tell you differently. He requested Steve Nash. This organization did not say we're going to fire Kenny Atkinson, who's been doing wonders for this young squad, for Steve Nash. Okay, no. The only person that had ties to Steve Nash going into this was Kevin Durant. Okay, he wanted him on a team and they gave it to him because they thought he was going to act like an adult, right? Yeah. That's what they thought, and then it didn't work out. And then when he missed a extended period of time, and Kyrie wasn't showing up to work, and the team lost a few in a row, right? 8 in a row, whatever it was that he mentioned. And he's like, yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like, we should be competing all the time. And he just didn't like the way, the team was playing without him. And he was talking about how he's the only person on the team that's carrying he's got to carry them, and they're not doing anything without him on the court. That's essentially what he said, throwing his teammates under the bus and all that stuff. But you're supposed to be that guy. This is how you wanted it.
Yeah. You're supposed to be a leader, but you don't want to be a leader except for when you want to shift blame onto somebody else. Then you want to step up and pretend you're the leader of the team. And like I said, I don't have any respect for Kevin Durant and the way he conducted himself in Brooklyn. And I had defended Durant nonstop for going to Golden State. I'm like, that doesn't tarnish his legacy. He went to a great team. He was the best player on that team, and he won a couple rings. That's whatever. But the way he's conducted himself in Brooklyn has been a joke. And like I said, I'm not going to let him, sneak out the back door. Not for that package, because and I want to make that clear. Like if it was Boston and they had offered Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart plus whatever, I'll trade you. Fine. I'm not trading you for Michael Bridges and Cam Johnson and some picks. Get the hell out of my office. Get back to the gym and get to work. Yeah, like, I'm not doing that.
Shout out to Chris White for the 420 donation. Says, don't let Nets management off the hook. They did. No. Okay, they did a horrible job managing stars relationships. Should have never traded Harden. Should have hired new coach. Any other organization would have kept that group together instead of attacking them in the media. All right, so let me break this down. So, Amy got another donation. Shout out to KP. Says, how did you guys become a Nets and Lakers fan? I'll get to that in a second. Remind me a second, B. So look, I put that 100% on KD and Kyrie, right? Managing relationships, they did everything that those guys asked for. How do they mismanage a relationship when players say, hey, I need this, give me this, and they're like, okay, cool. Hey, coach right there ain't really working out. Bringing this guy, he's our guy. Okay, cool. Hey, Harden wants to come over here. Can you trade for Harden? Okay, cool. Right? Like, this is what you guys are asking for. You guys are supposed to have the championship pedigree. You guys wanted it the way LeBron had it, right? Because you all saw LeBron go to these different teams and say, get rid of this guy, bring in this guy, and I'm gonna bring you guys a championship. And he delivered, right?
Mm-hmm.
He delivered every time he did that, right? So you thought you were going to do that, and then you find out you're not LeBron, and you want to complain that the Nets messed that up, right? They didn't. They fired Kenny Atkinson because they wanted Kenny Atkinson gone, KD and Kyrie, right? Nash is there only because that's who KD wanted, right? Harden was there. He didn't like that Kyrie was just taking days off. Said, I don't like the vibe here. I want to go. Where was KD to say no? Let me talk to him, right? He's supposed to be the leader, right? Why does management have to step in there and tell them, hey, you guys work it out? He's supposed to be the leader, right?
Well, and more to that point, like, yeah, managing relationships is kind of the coach's job, the GM's job when you're putting the team together.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't put this team together. The players put this team together. So why would you? The whole thing was, I want to play with my best friend Kyrie. So why would you need to manage the relationship between two best friends?
Yeah,
that's the whole point of getting them all together.
So the Harden trade, he could have opted out at the end of that season, right? Mm-hmm. So he says, I want out. Okay, we'll get what we can for him, right? KD and Kyrie, they did say no. Well, first of all, they told Kyrie, we're not gonna extend you, and he said, all right, I'll opt in. KD, they definitely told him, like, well, we got you for 3 more years, so you're not going anywhere, right? Yeah, I would have told him no at that point, but no, man, these aren't like guys in their early 20s. These are guys that are supposed to be all in right now. They're playing for legacy, and they should have been able to work that out. But the one thing I do blame the Nets for is this last trade. I definitely would not have sent him someplace where he wanted to go, and not out of spite. Like, I'm not going to do that for that package, right? Yeah. Like, my thing is, if you want to go to Phoenix, cool. We need Devin Booker, because what you're not going to do is try to go play with another super team, right? We're going to get something back for you, and we don't want DeAndre Ayton, we don't want CP3, we don't want Mikal Bridges. We want Devin Booker. If they're not willing to give up Devin Booker, you're not going there.
Yeah.
So
and I really don't want to hear about managing the relationship between all these guys who are in their mid-30s who can't seem to just show up to work and do their job.
KP had a question: how do we become a Nets fan and a Lakers fan? So listen. Basketball is one of those sports that you follow the stars, really, right? But early on, I mean, we're all Jordan fans. We all love Michael Jordan as kids. Love Michael Jordan. But like, when I really started getting into the game, I was really into the Phoenix Suns, ironically, right? We lived in Hawaii at the time. We were stationed in Hawaii. So I was big into the Raiders. I was big into the Suns. I loved Charles Barkley and Kevin Johnson and Dan Marley and all them, right? So yeah, I stuck with them for a while, all through the Steve Nash era, and I just didn't like what they were doing after that. And I was just like, yeah, I'm over on the East Coast now. I want an East Coast team. Wasn't going to root for the Wizards. Baltimore doesn't have a team, and that's when JC became a part owner of the Nets, and I was like, that's my team. Jay-Z and a Russian oligarch. What could go wrong?
Yes. Absolutely everything. I was a Houston Rockets fan initially, from the time I was very young, and followed them through the Olajuwon years and then the dark times that came after, and up until they got Yao and McGrady, and I was fine with the Rockets until I woke up one day and I looked at the roster and they had 6 power forwards. And none of them were taller than like 6'8". They had Chuck Hayes out there at 6'6" playing center. And I'm just like, I looked around and I'm like, the hell are you doing? Like, you're not trying to win. But Daryl Morey was playing like it was 2K, just making ridiculous trades. Like, why do you keep trying to bring in Pau Gasol? Like, stop.
Yeah.
I just got tired of it, and I picked a new team, and it was the Lakers because LeBron went to the Lakers. Like as they said, the NBA is about the stars. LeBron at that point was one of my favorite players. I said I'll follow LeBron to LA, and so I root for the Lakers.
And LeBron is still my favorite player.
By the way. I mean, good Lord. You want to talk about a poorly managed team. You were talking about the LA Lakers.
Yeah, we can talk about that because they're dumping on my Nets right now. It doesn't make me feel good. Okay. You guys hurt my feelings. I mean, DeAndre Thomas here. DeAndre Thomas here talking about 3 superstars came to the Nets. All 3 want to be traded. What's really going on with the Nets organization? They always suck. All right. I mean,
well, what's funny is they don't always suck. They make all these terrible trades, and they just continually make the playoffs. And then they got rid of everybody that they traded for, and they just kept on making the playoffs when they had all the young guys. And then you bring in Durant and Kyrie and them, and you just you're in the playoffs, and they're just never reaching the highs that you expect from them. That's
and they're gonna make the playoffs again this year.
Yeah,
right. He says trying to embarrass your players publicly will never end well. How did they try to embarrass them? They embarrassed themselves. What did they do to embarrass KD? I'm curious. What do you think they did to embarrass KD and Harden? They didn't do anything.
I imagine they're referring to the Kyrie.
Kyrie embarrasses himself. Kyrie embarrasses himself.
Like you can think that those steps that they made him do were overboard, but Kyrie did that to himself.
Facts. He's a grown ass man. Right? Be responsible.
Or is he?
Be responsible for your words. Right? Yeah. You're tweeting out this stuff. You're putting out, okay, you watch some documentary. It has some things in there that you're feeling whatever, but you're starting to post stuff, and you want to be, you want to be thought-provoking Kyrie, right? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna drop you some gems. Right, I'm going. This is gonna blow your mind, and I'm gonna put some quotes out there that are fake. That I got from this documentary. Right, instead of just saying, "Hey, you know what? My bad. I didn't realize. It had some anti-Semitic tones to it. Like that's not why I was watching it. This is why I thought they were saying whatever. Own up to it. Just man up. But no, you want to sit there and act like you've been attacked some way, like you're some martyr or something like that. No, man, like ain't that big of a deal.
Don't ask me about that.
Right. Shout out to KP says, how did you become a Panthers fan? He wants to know how you became a Panthers fan, B.
I'm going to repeat that before I answer KP. Kyrie Irving is a straight up clown. And to how I became a Panthers fan. So we were living in Maryland, Fort Meade, when we were very, very young. And I was like, okay, I'm going to watch football because we play Tecmo Super Bowl and all this. And I was like, well, the local team's Washington, so I'll follow Washington. And I found out very quickly that was not the move. So Randall Cunningham was my favorite quarterback. And so I started following the Eagles. And I did not like the way that they treated Randall Cunningham. I did not know it at that point to be the black quarterback treatment, but that's what it was. But I did not like the way that they benched him. They publicly embarrassed Randall Cunningham, even though he was the best player on the team. And I was like, I'm picking a new team. I'm not rolling with this. And it was the year before the Panthers and the Jaguars came into the league. And I said, hey, whichever one lands in the NFC, I'm going to be a fan of that team. And then it's been, like 27, 28 years of just nonstop misery since then. Well, not nonstop. They made the Super Bowl a couple times. They're good occasionally. But yeah, it's been, just loads of incompetence. And shout out to our newest patron, Big Zach 410. Thank you very much for signing up. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much. And if you want to be awesome like Big Zach, patreon.com/LBHT Show is where you can do that. Okay. Thank you. For as low as $3 a month. If you have $3 in your pocket, okay. There's no better gift out there. Okay. If you're sitting here today, you fumbled a bag on Valentine's Day, said, man, I really messed up. I already messed that up. If you got $3, you can redeem yourself to your loved one. Okay. The gift of LBHT Show. Okay. Jonathan Washington Jr. says, yeah, Brooklyn could have easily got more values somewhere else for Kevin Durant. If you're a Nets owner at that point, I'm not in a rush to get assets back for KD. I got him locked in for 3 more years. That was my whole thing. Right?
I think that they were just tired of dealing with him.
Yeah.
And they just wanted to be over. They're like, get out.
Yeah, but again, this is where you gotta be professional. But like, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like, we have to get proper value for you. So either you go to Phoenix without Devin Booker, or you go wherever we send you for the best value, and you work it out with them. But or you stay here, and you can cry about it. I don't care. You want to cry out the rest of your contract for the next 3 years, and when you're out of the contract, you're 35 years old. Be my guest. But it's either we're getting our value for you, or you go back to work, right? And it can be tough, and you don't have to listen. You don't have to take his call. You don't have to take his call. If he's calling about a trade, say, I'm busy, right? Talk to my assistant. Okay. Hold on a second. Abel's bringing me some food here. Hold on.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
You know we're gonna hear about this on the OT.
Listen. I have a strong I have a strong rule about no eating on camera. Okay. I have slapped down members of the LBHT crew for eating on camera. Okay. So no, it's fine. It's off camera. It's off to the side. I cut my camera off so they didn't see it, because Suge is lurking in the chat saying, "How dare you?" Okay. Well,
I'm lurking on screen saying, "How dare you?" I haven't had dinner. Man.
All right. Let's get to some bonus.
Breaking your own rules.
All right. Kimberly
live on air.
Hey, salute to Kimberly, because she's not even an NBA fan, but she's been hanging tough through the NBA talks. Yes. Thank you. Kimberly. And she has a question. Okay. I got a question for are you planning to do a NFL Draft 2023 reaction day after the draft over and rate the new players for the Ravens and Panthers?
I read that as overrate the new players.
So yes, we are, Kimberly. We are in the works of doing a Ravens roundtable multi-stream type of thing. Okay. Like if any of you guys watched our how dare you, Jose? If you watched our Super Bowl reaction, that was a multi-stream that we did with Ferris and Hendo and Caleb. Okay, that was across three channels. We're planning on doing something similar to that for the draft with the roundtable. That's us, Coach, Hendo, Mikey, Chris, right? So yes, we'll be covering the draft. Also, we are going to do a reaction video, kind of like just wrapping up the draft. We do that every year. So yes, you will be getting that. Okay.
Yes.
All right, bonus time. Okay, we're gonna spend a couple minutes here reading your comments, and then we're going to fire up the overtime show. Man, listen, I almost gave away the overtime show earlier, man. People wanted to know what's going on with this man right here, Eric Bieniemy. Okay, we're going to talk about Eric Bieniemy and why he's not getting the love that he deserves. Okay.
Well, yeah, and everybody, go ahead, and if you have any questions, go ahead and put it in the chat. But I do want to touch on UFC 284.
Oh yes,
and I spelled the dude's nickname wrong, so let me take that down and adjust that.
It's not Volk. Yeah. Oh, my bad. I meant to add that. We have to talk. Listen, we try our hardest to give you our post-fight reactions. These fights are late, man.
Yeah. So Alexander Volkanovski was the number 1 pound for pound in UFC, going up against Islam Makhachev. He moved up to lightweight to fight Makhachev, who's the number 2 pound for pound in UFC. Now, Makhachev got the unanimous decision win. I did not agree with it. I thought Volkanovski won the fight. I don't think that Makhachev did enough on the ground to warrant winning, especially the 4 rounds on one card. One card had him winning 4 out of 5 rounds. I thought that was ridiculous. But I thought that Volkanovski won the fight overall. The judges disagreed, so Makhachev retained his title. But it came out today with the updated pound for pound list, and Volkanovski, who just lost to the number 2 pound for pound, has remained the number 1 pound for pound. So I just wanted to mention that and say, like, what's the point? What's the point of you having a pound for pound list? And this is a list that's run by UFC. They put
I was about to ask, is that UFC? That's
UFC's? It's UFC's list. And I'm like, if you can be number 1, fight number 2, lose to number 2, and still retain number 1 overall on the pound for pound list, how does that happen? And what is the point of you?
listen, this is, you might as well call it Dana's list, right? This is Dana White, right? Like, you don't have to agree with the outcome, but he lost.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't have to agree with how they grade according to how they grade, you know, how they score these fights. Great. I mean, score according to how they score these fights. Islam won the fight.
Mhm.
He took him down, what, like 5 or 6 times. He had ground control for a great amount of time.
Mhm.
Yes, a lot of time he wasn't doing anything, but he still controlled him on the ground, and
Yeah.
that affects the scoring. So change your scoring. But Makhachev won according to their rules. So it is what it is. I didn't like how it looked either. I thought, you know, Volkanovski, you know, probably should have come out with that victory, but he didn't. And you can't remain number one, man. You just lost. You just lost to number 2, right? And I don't want to hear the excuse of, oh, well, he went up heavier. You know, he still retains his belt. It was lightweight or whatever he fights at.
Well, he fights at featherweight. He moved up to lightweight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't
Right.
care. You're not number one. Okay. Do a rematch and win next time.
Yeah. You know, there's other situations like when Israel Adesanya moved up to light heavyweight and he fought Polish Power. I'm not going to attempt to Jan Blachowicz. That's what I had lost it for a second there. He lost that fight, but Blachowicz wasn't anywhere near the top in the pound for pound rankings, right? So it doesn't have that big of an effect. But like I said, if you're moving up to specifically fight the number 2 guy and you're selling it as, oh, number 1 versus the number 2 pound for pound, and the number 1 guy loses, you cannot put out a pound for pound list where he is still number 1. It makes absolutely no sense. It undermines the credibility of your list completely. But yeah, I just wanted to point out how ridiculous that is and get your opinion on the upcoming UFC event where John Jones is making his return after more than 3 years away. He's moved up to heavyweight. He's fighting Cyril Gane, and he is bulked up to 265 pounds to make his heavyweight debut. What are your thoughts on John and his comeback?
I think John Jones is going to crush Cyril Gane, and I think Cyril Gane is a good heavyweight fighter. All right, he fought a good fight with Ngannou. Ngannou kind of surprised him, I think, with the ground game a little bit. Right, Ngannou isn't a guy that takes people to the ground, but Cyril Gane is a good fighter. And the thing at heavyweight, yes, I mean at that weight. It only takes one punch, right? But John Jones is so skilled, and he spent 3 years, you know, putting on that weight. So it's not like he's going from light heavyweight to heavyweight over a course of a few months or even a year. Like, he took time to add that weight, and he's been training the whole time, right? He put on that weight a while ago, and he's been training that whole time. So he's used to the weight, you know, he's comfortable with it, and he is the greatest UFC fighter of all time. What's up, Red Kingdom? He's the most skilled. I mean, the talent is off the charts. He can do it all. Yeah. He can do it all. There's nothing Cyril Gane has for him. Nothing.
Yeah, I agree. We talked about it on Steel Conspiracy last night with Suge and Hendo. I think that, you know, normally you would kind of question a guy putting on that much weight, being gone out of the ring that long and stepping in and fighting a fighter of Gane's caliber. But I don't think that John Jones would be hopping in the cage with him unless he was absolutely sure that he retained all those abilities that you're mentioning, you know, being faster, just as strong, and being as technically sound and skilled as anybody else out there. If he had lost, you know, a good bit of that speed, you know, I don't think that he would do it. But like I said, he took his time over the 3 years, getting himself ready to move up to fight in heavyweight. And I think particularly, I said on the show last night that I think he's going to knock out Gane because I don't think that this is the fight that he wanted. You know, he wanted to fight Stipe. He wanted to fight Ngannou, have one of those mega fight moments. And that's not Cyril Gane, even though he is a very talented guy. Yeah. So I think he's going to be in a bad mood. He's going to take it out on Cyril.
Yeah, he's going to put on the show.
Yeah.
He's going to put on the show. I think he fights less cautious, right? Because with Ngannou, I mean, you know, you got to be careful. It literally takes one hit with Ngannou. I think that was the thing he was worried about the most. But Ciryl Gane, look, any heavyweight can put you down, but I think he's less afraid of that. So I think he's gonna really put on a show and put Ciryl Gane away. All right, now bonus time for the people that are still here. They're like UFC. Yes, shout out to Anonymous for a $15 donation. What's that say, B?
Let me get back to it here. That says, "Thank you for a marvelous and splendid show." Thank you
so much. Yes, listen, it's our 3-year anniversary. Okay, we made it 3 years, and we still got a long ways to go. I really appreciate you guys for hanging out with us, for growing with us. Yes, we're about to start bonus time, but I just want to say again, man, thank you so much. We didn't have any real expectations for the show. We just said we had a 3-year plan, and our plan was give it 3 years, and we'll see how we feel. Right? If it wasn't going anywhere and it was too much of a burden, we would just leave it alone. But we were going to, put in that work for 3 years to give you the best podcast, right? Because we are a podcast, and we converted over to YouTube, but we still do the audio podcast. So make sure if you are an audio listener, we really appreciate if you follow, wherever you listen to podcasts, give us a follow, give us a 5-star review if you listen to us, right? But yeah, we just wanted to be the best version of ourselves that we could be, and then walk away from it with no regrets if it didn't work out. But it is working out, so we're gonna keep it going. Oh, and shout out to Anonymous for a $75 donation. It says happy anniversary, wishing much more success. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody that supported us along the way. Wow, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, let's read some comments here. A couple comments, and let's get out of here because it's hashtag no 2 hours over here. All right, Spawn, what's going on? Thank you for joining the live stream. It says, since Philadelphia crafted a statue of a fictional character in Rocky, who would LBHT have a fictional statue of? Who would your character be? Yeah, you put me on the spot.
Honestly, we're just talking that now. Am I taking this as a fictional character to represent the show, or just a character that I would put up a statue of?
Like in sports, we'll keep it sports related.
Oh well, okay. Well, I had an answer, and now you ruined that. So you go ahead and go first, then.
I don't know. Like, what's some? You know who it would be? It would be Booby Miles. He's not fictional.
I was thinking that too. He's not fictional.
But no, he's not fictional. I can't use him. I can't use him.
He's not. I'm gonna say that for me, it doesn't have to be sports related, and I'm gonna put up a statue of Roland of Gilead from the Dark Tower.
Who?
Roland of Gilead from the Dark Tower.
From the Dark Tower.
Yes, sir.
Oh man!
In hopes that it will inspire some young filmmaker to one day make a version worthy of the books.
All right. Well, since you're going that route, I'm going a funny route. I'm going Gus from Psych. Oh man! Yes, you guys ever watch Psych? Gus deserves a statue. Yes. No, so y'all should give a 2-hour live anniversary stream. Yeah, if you include the overtime show, they'll add up to over 2 hours.
I mean, yeah, we're at 148. Like, what more do you want from us?
And it says, don't forget to sign up for the Patreon. Oh, thank you, Hendo. Appreciate it. Yes. Do you know what today is? Do you know what today is? Yes, it's our 3-year anniversary. Yes. All right. We're gonna wrap it up here, man. We're gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, we're gonna be look, it's the off season. We're gonna give you a mixture, okay? Because this, we like to be a well-rounded show. We love USC. And you guys that are up late on Saturday nights every now and then at 2 a.m., you will find sometimes you will find us live streaming a USC event. So, if you like that kind of talk, check out our videos. I'll probably clip that part, put that out. Also, if you're into boxing, Ring Kings podcast is where you can find more of us talking boxing along with our guy OTR Mike. Okay, so that's where we can find us right there. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe. But all right, we're going to start the overtime show. If you want to be a part of it, patreon.com/LBHT Show is where you can do it for as little as $3 a month. But
and Big Zach, I saw your question. If you are on the Patreon page, there should be a pinned post with a permanent Discord invite link, and you just click on the link, and it'll bring you right to the server.
Yes, and if you need help, again, just put it in Patreon. We'll see it and we'll walk you through it. All right, B, are you ready?
I'm ready.
B is ready. Patrons, get ready. The overtime show is starting in a couple minutes. Everybody else, thank you so much. Have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you next time. Peace.